just to get started off here, I want to thank you all for joining me for today's webinar on the secrets of Maine listings. So essentially what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over not all, but a good majority of what can be found on the Maine listings website once you log into the private side, of course, and then we'll be logging into the member portal, which is how I recommend everyone logs in the morning to get into Flex, even though I know a lot of people don't. And I'll also talk about, once we're in the member portal, some of the things that you can do there as well. So to start off, I just want to start off at a blank page as if, hey, I just turned my computer on this morning and I'm about to start working. So I open it up. Here we are. We're at the Google page of Google Chrome that so many people are familiar with. And the first place I want to go to is mainelistings.com. So this is what our official website looks like. I think there are some attempts of copycats if you type in if you misspell something in the URL bar. So just be careful about that. This is the page you want to be on. And to quickly go over some of the things for you guys to enjoy, we have the system status. So when it's in green, it means all systems go. You can see when you hover it, it gives you a little drop down here too. You will also may see yellow as a system status. My understanding is that means that there is one or more products or services that we offer that are currently down, at least for a longer period of time. And then there should be a red one, which pretty much means everything's broken. We're on fire. God help us all. So I have not seen a red system status icon yet, and I pray and knock on wood, I don't have to. So then we have things like find an agent, find an appraiser. Ultimately, this part, when you first are coming onto the website, this is for consumers. This is for the person looking for Maine real estate to purchase. They hopefully are coming to mainelistings.com. We want everyone in Maine, or people who are looking for Maine real estate, to come to our website. For better or worse, this is what it looks like right now. So these are all basically consumer focused products. The system status is definitely more so for us, but we also see this on the private side. So the function, right, just like with any other real estate website, is to search for real estate. So let's do it. So I'm going to type in, well, I need my numlock on, a random zip code. So one thing that confuses people with our website is how you run the search. So unfortunately, you can't just type in a zip code or an address or an MLS number, whatever it is, and hit search. Just like actually kind of is the same in Flex too when you're adding criteria. You type in what you're looking for, and then the system is going to actually provide you the results that you search by. Not so much just automatically, but in this drop down here, you can see the zip code is 04011. I actually have to click on this to apply it to my search. This causes a bit of confusion. So it's good if you have any clients or consumers using our website and they're saying the search function isn't working as expected. 9 times out of 10, it's that they just don't know that they need to actually click on the drop down result to apply it to the search. Now the search bar is lit up in solid blue and we can press it. It loads. So 04011 is Brunswick, which you guys now know if you didn't before. And we can scroll through and we can just see what is out there on the market. Let's just check this one out. So here we're looking at it. Looks like this gentleman doesn't have a profile picture, doesn't have his company logo uploaded. All fine and dandy. If you do want your information there and you're peeking around and notice it's not here, just let us know. You can send us an email to the help desk and we can get your logo and your photo uploaded to the right place so that it does appear here if you guys so desire. And it just gives you all the information just right from the listing, as if almost like you were looking at the detail report in Flex itself, right? It's basically the same info. All right, so we can close out of that. We can go back to the home page. And if they want to, so these are kind of like this orange, yellow brand new listings, or this blue open house. Kind of have to click on the image itself right here. So this is kind of like a hot sheet in a way, right? So if your client is looking for, or if a consumer, doesn't have to be a client, but if a consumer is here looking for brand new listings, just like our hot sheet has the new listing section, this brand new listings is going to show them much of the same information. And upcoming open houses, pretty much the same thing. If there's an open house that is upcoming in the schedule, when you apply open houses to your listing in Flex, they're going to show up here, which is, I think, a pretty powerful tool, and why you should be setting up open houses if you're going to have them. Make sure you're putting it on your listing in Flex, because it goes out to many places, including our own website. Okay, so enough dilly-dallying about what consumers see and what consumers can do. Let's talk about what you guys have as options. So confusingly, perhaps, you have the sign in or register up here. Not for you. Don't touch it. This is the sign in for consumers to enter in just a regular old email address and create a password. As members of Maine listings, to get to the private side, we put it in a private place, nice and hidden. At the very bottom of the screen, in this dark black section, underneath the copyright notice information right here, is the small text that says member login. We want to click that. So it's going to ask us to log in with our Flex information. I do believe if you're already logged into Flex on a different tab, the system is going to know, and it's going to just let you move forward without entering this information. If you aren't already logged in, you will want to make sure you're entering your username and your password, as one does to log into systems. So there's my username, there's my password. Hopefully it's correct. Look at it. And so when you first log in through that private side, that private member login, it'll land you on your dashboard here. So this isn't much used anymore. We've kind of used the member portal for a lot of this, but one thing that is here on the dashboard is the lead management. So leads are kind of unique in a sense where your designated broker of your office has the setting to choose what happens to the leads that come in from mainlistings.com. And I believe a lot of the time, these DBs will just set it to go to them, and then they disperse it however they see fit. So if you have never seen a lead from Maine Listings, it might be worth talking to your DB about and just posing the question about what they do with Maine Listing leads. Not quite sure. I think everyone's a little different, but my understanding is a lot of DBs will round robin themselves, essentially. To get back to the homepage, we can just click the Maine Listings logo in the top left, of course. And now you can see there's kind of a few different options up along the top. So the ones I want to talk about just really quickly is the Learning Center here. So the Learning Center is really a place that we collect our videos, like from YouTube. We have PDFs. We have, actually, I think that might be it, just videos and PDFs, but essentially it's just different forms and different videos insert educationally about different topics, right? So if you want to learn a little bit about Flex MLS, you can click into Flex MLS, and here are all the different topics of videos we have for you guys. So we have appraisers, we have CMA, custom reports and flyers, da-dee-dee-da. So here are some of the different topics. Let's just click on Flex MLS tools. So here is what we consider videos or PDFs that are educational and will be beneficial and fall into the category of Flex MLS tools. So for example, 10 tips to be thankful for is a webinar I just did the other day. Making your workflow easier, I did, I believe, last week. Personalize your preferences is all about general and your portal preferences and how to change them and what they do and what they mean. We have a quick tip about running reverse prospecting, which is very important. And then we just have some PDF guides, like what's the difference between a video and a virtual tour, or what is a parent versus child listing, so on and so forth. So there's a ton of options for you to read or watch a video on pretty much anything about topics that we have. We make sure that this is up to date. And if you do notice anything out of date, please let us know. All right, that's enough with the Learning Center. Let's head back to the homepage. We can move on to forms and documents. So this is a good place to go if you want to find our rules and regulations, if you're looking for a waiver of MLS benefits or the coming soon no-show authorization form. Maybe you're setting up a website and you need to discuss, or you need to start the process of the IDX agreement, participant data license, what we call it. This is where you'd go. Of course, you can always call and email us. We're more than happy to either guide you to these forms or just attach them to an email and send them back to you. So let's just click into governance. So we have some PDFs in here. The one that I think is the most important is our rules and regulations. I do recommend coming here to find the rules and regs. A lot of times agents will get a QA notice, or they are they're reporting what they believe is a violation, and they will be quoting, or they'll take a screenshot of our rules and regulations from years ago, because that's the copy they downloaded, back in 2020. And they've just been using that same one. Our rules and regs change ever so slightly, usually, probably a couple times a year. Whenever our board of directors gets together and has a meeting, there's the policies and procedures committee. Suggestions and recommendations from you guys go through a process, and some of them end up actually coming into effect and changing our rules and regs. And to make sure you're always staying up to date and you have the most up-to-date version, I really recommend going in this way. Let's go back to the forms and documents page. So things like membership, if you are starting your own office and you need to sign and you need to do the site license agreement with us to get your office started, this is where you'd go for that. Site license, real estate broker. If you're an appraiser, it's right here for you too. Data entry is going to be the coming soon no-show authorization form, the waiver of MLS benefits. It's going to stay up to date, so it's going to be the most recent one. Our waiver, we did just have to add, I believe we just added one sentence to it because we updated how the rules and regulations read in terms of clear cooperation. So we updated the waiver too. So we will slowly be pushing back on people that send us old waiver forms. So just come here if you need a waiver and get the most recent one. It's very easy. Should also be in your Zip Forms library. You can do like data licensing. So this is where you go if you're setting up a website and you need to sign up with the website, with your vendor, with us. There's a 3-way contract. It's called a participant data license. This is where you go to find the most up-to-date blank copy. Highly recommend coming here or emailing the IDX team. They can provide it to you as well. All right, let's go home and let's move on to the next tab, which is resources. So this is kind of a little bit of a shorter cut to get to some of the forms here, like the site license I talked about. If you're becoming a member or you're starting your own office, you'd want the real estate site license. There's the one for the appraiser as well. We have the member benefits page, which just lays out all the different products and services we offer with a little description of each one. Contact us is just some basic information. Excuse me, we have our stats. So you have press releases, Maine statistics, stat reports is the one that I go to frequently. So you click on that. You have to click on stat reports here as well. Depending on your level of access that your designated broker gave you when signing you up for their office, you may see more reports or different reports. This is the kind of like the bare minimum. This is the agent production comparison. So I'll just click in it to show you what it looks like. So whatever account is logged in to Maine listings at the moment, you type in the state range. I'm not going to have anything because this is our training account. And it will show you your production for whatever the date range is. So how many sales you've done, the value of those sales, so on and so forth. We give you the data for that. Comparison is instead of just one date range, you put in 2 date ranges. So you compare, that's most likely you're comparing, your 2022 numbers with your 2023 numbers to see the percentage, or however you want to determine it, change in your production. Then we have comparison and advanced comparison. I'll show you comparison. So this one lets you choose like a city, or you can actually put a list of cities in here if you separate them by commas. You can also just do it by county, specific property types. It's pretty much just another way of running stats on a set of criteria. So let's just do Cumberland just to have a little fun. I do want closed status. 2020 is a fine start year. And let's do median sold price displayed monthly. Let's see. Hopefully this goes quick for us. Oh, yeah, we got it loaded really fast. So in Cumberland County, January 2020, oh goodness, this is so depressing to look at. In 2020, the median sold price of a home in Cumberland County was $297,500. In January of 2024, we already have a February number. Must be what we have thus far. But in January 2024, so just last month, the median sold price in Cumberland was $508,000. So, yeah, the median sold price of homes in Cumberland has really gone up the last few years. So it's fun to be able to check these things out. We go back quite a way, 1998. I think we only technically have half of the data for 1998, the latter half of the year. And of course, the longer you go back, the longer things might take. The more criteria you have, the longer it's going to take to load. So be patient if you're really wanting to go back to 1998 just to see the price changes. But it is a fun little graph to use. All right. So now we can move on to quick stats. Let's just choose 2023. And let's pick on Q4 2023 single family statistics. So this shows you how many single family homes sold in each county of Q4 2023. So for example, 734 single family homes sold Q4 2023 in Cumberland, and 173 single family homes sold in Q4 2023 up in Aroostook County, which, believe it or not, is not the smallest. So this is also just another fun stat to take a look at to kind of get an idea of where a lot of the real estate sales are happening in the state. No surprise, it's down here on the tip. And we can close out of this one. Let's see, is there another one we can look at? Let's do Q1. Yeah. So this might not necessarily be the most recent, but I think this graph is also good to look at. So this is, as you could tell, the United States, all 50 of them, believe it or not. And what this is using is when you are closing out your data or your sale, we ask you for the buyer's zip code, and we get quite a bit of pushback, actually, believe it or not, about that data point, because a lot of people don't necessarily feel responsible for it. But unfortunately, it is a data point that we require, and we thank you guys for getting it. So how we use it is we map out like this, where everyone who purchased a home, in this case, Q1 2023 in Maine, what state did they come from? What was their home address before buying a house in Maine? And we really like this graph because it helps agents figure out where to, one, market themselves out of the state. For example, 170 people, or in Q1, 170 people essentially in Massachusetts bought a home in Maine. So it might be worth it. There's 170 people who needed representation. You could have been the one to represent one of them. So there's an outside of the state market to advertise to and to try to grab potential clients from. And now it makes more sense to pay to advertise in Massachusetts than it does in, let's say, South Dakota, where 0 people bought a home in Maine from South Dakota. So probably not worth spending money there. This is also helpful if you're looking to be not a dual agent, that's not the right word, but licensed in multiple states. you have a better idea. Of course, the surrounding states makes a lot of sense, right? Whatever's close by. But a lot of people also are licensed in Florida because a lot of people from Maine move to Florida when they retire. And so it's good to be licensed in both those states if you want to help assist those retirees or snowbirds find their properties down there. So a couple good uses for a graph like this. All right. And actually, the last one I want to talk about here is the e-news. So the e-news is our marketing team, mostly just Kenzie, to be honest, sends out a weekly newsletter that has a bunch of good information in it. If you don't get the email, let us know because we want to get you back on the list. If you get them and you ignore them, I guess it's not as bad, but you should take a peek, interact with it. It looks good for us, makes us feel better. And Kenzie does a fantastic job. They always look good. They always have good information. So this is the first week of January. So she introduces who our new officers are. John Finch being our new president is important, perhaps, for you guys to know. Go butter him up. Gives us how's the market. Gives us a good kind of like simple graphic here. That way you don't have to do it yourself. I believe she puts this in pretty much every week. Lets you know how the market's doing. We got a showing time webinar that you can sign up for. Just a bunch of good stuff. Look at that. A coupon code for my flood status. I mean, why not? All you have to do is open the email. So definitely good. Please show some love to Kenzie and to our marketing team by viewing these emails, clicking on some stuff, and just letting us know that you're engaged with it. It's important for us to know. Okay. I know I started a few minutes late, which is why I feel like I'm rushing right now because we're almost at 10. But the last thing I want to show you guys is the member portal. Again, if you're logging into Flex for the day, this is the way I would like to see you guys logging in. I know a lot of people just save the Flex website as like a favorite in their hotbar or whatever, and they click on it and they sign in and it gets them there all the same. But those links die sometimes when Flex does any big updates or anything like that. Your saved favorite link might not work anymore. And then also there's a couple years ago, we forced the agents to do a password change, which I wasn't here for, thank goodness, but I hear it was Armageddon, having to help every agent change their password at the same time. However, if you were using the Flex link that you saved, you were bypassing this member portal and you were bypassing that password change. So even to this day, there are still agents that I assist and I try to log into their account to help them. And it's asking me to change the password with the message from 2 years ago, asking them to change it because they never go into their member portal. So then I have to be like, okay, well, I can't help you until you do this. And then, of course, you change your password. And then there's a 15-minute wait for the single sign-on service to catch up. And my goodness, it's a headache. So always log in through the member portal, please. And ignore that pop-up of whatever that was. So enough rambling. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to click login. And I'll show you why I recommend the member portal. We have a lot of good stuff here. So one, we have the notifications. Right now, they take up a lot of space because there's 2 pretty lengthy ones. To be honest, we're probably going to be adding a 3rd one, so I apologize for some of the extra scrolling you might have to do. But we think it's worth you guys knowing, like the Zip Forms training, for example, or the Rental Beast webinar that's happening February 28th at 2 p.m. that talks about their, I believe, they have enhanced some features. They're going to start using AI for the property management stuff. And it's good to know, especially if you're utilizing Rental Beast to help some of your clients who aren't quite ready to commit to purchasing a home in this market, which after seeing those stats, oh boy. Anyway, so we can also click on edit next to my profile right here. So this is where you go to change a lot of your personal information, right? Your phone numbers, your email address, your website, some of your social media stuff. If you're a DB and you pay for access to Maine listings, regular agents don't need to worry about this. You can set up auto pay. Definitely give us a call and talk to our bookkeeper if you need any assistance. You can upload or update your profile picture. So a weird caveat with this is not what's in Flex. Your Flex profile picture is specific to what you upload to Flex, but this is the picture people are going to see pretty much anywhere else other than Flex. So when I was looking at the listing in the beginning, when we were doing that search practice, and I believe his name was Dave White, didn't have a profile picture. This is where you would upload one, and that should translate then to our Maine listings website. And of course, the faithful password, if you do need to change it because you just want to, it needs to be updated. I recommend updating your passwords every year at least. We don't make you guys for some reason though. Go here, enter your suggested password, make sure it's scoring high enough that this bar turns green. Click update. Again, the funk is when you change your password, it's going to take about 15 minutes before the system should let you log on. And again, that's because the single sign-on service that we have, so that you don't have to log into, for example, Showing Time or Domus Analytics. Oh my goodness. All of those things you just automatically log into because it's using your Flex account. And those websites also need to be aware that you just updated your password. And apparently that takes about 15 minutes. So that is why if you change your password, give it about 15 minutes. I always say go take a coffee break, even though I don't drink coffee myself. All right. So we also have so home brings you back here. Remember, my profile takes you to the same place we just clicked with edit. Education talks about some of the upcoming courses. Hey, look, that's us right now. And I will be posting the March webinars here in the next couple of days. Just wanted to make sure things like the Zip Forms webinar that we have posted, and we're going to be hosting a Domus Analytics webinar that we'll be putting up on the notifications. Just needed to finalize dates, things like that, so that there's no overlap, or I'm not having to delete a webinar people signed up for, because I've had to do that before and it doesn't feel good. As you guys know, because I mean, you registered for this one, so of course you know, but in case you don't, you would click on the webinar you want and you would click register. It's free. It's that easy. No pressure. If you don't show up, you don't show up. There's no punishment. And then we have events. We don't currently have any events, but we might soon. I think some people, if you've seen some surveys we sent out to you guys, might know what I'm talking about. We have just the general calendar. We have Connect right here. So this is a good way if you want to find like an agent or an office, it gives you some criteria that you can try to search for the person you're looking for. If you can't, Flex also has this function, and Flex does it pretty well as well. And then to wrap it up, because we are past 10 o'clock now, because I was delayed a little bit, sorry again. We have our quick links. So this is how you get into Flex. At least this is the way I'd like to see you guys getting to Flex, is with this quick link here. You can also do it to get into Realist, Property, Zip Forms, Domus, Showing Time. Look at all these things you can do from right here. If you need to get back to the Maine listings homepage, you can click here. Here are some links to the local boards, if not all of them, maybe. DocuSign here. Our Facebook account, List Hub, great stuff. The last thing I'm going to show you guys before I let you go is our YouTube channel. So this is the Maine listings YouTube channel. As you can see, we upload our videos. Look, Flex MLS webinars. Ours is not, oh, the Secrets of Maine listings. So after this webinar, I will most likely be uploading this version to our website, to our YouTube channel, just because things have changed since last year. So if there are any topics about Flex that you want to know about, come to YouTube, just search Maine listings. That should be what you need to do to get to us. And again, we have all of our webinars preloaded. We have a bunch of quick tips as well, which are anywhere from just 2 to 6 minutes about topics that I think are very beneficial. Look at that. We have like Realist training uploaded. We have a Domus webinar uploaded. So a lot of good stuff for you guys to check out. Give us a like, subscribe as well. And if you have any questions, of course you can call us. Of course you can email us. But I think this YouTube channel is also a great place and a great resource to find information and how-tos. And that is enough chatting off your ears about my YouTube channel. Let me head back and we can sign up. Oh, yeah, duh. I just said that you need to click here. All right, and that's all I have for you guys today. I really want to thank you for joining me for today's webinar. Again, if you need any assistance after this, call us at 750-1366 or send us an email at help@mainelistings.com. Again, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.